Hello, hello, hello. This is she,
And Dr. T,
and this is Real Talk Radio.
living life unbroken.
Hey, 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 welcome back to everyone. How's everyone doing this lovely evening?
We're so excited to have you join us tonight on our show. We're just excited about our guests. We're so thankful to be on the air again tonight.
Yeah,
The Lord is so good, and we're so grateful to have all of you joining us once again.
we hope everybody's had a great week thus far, and now you're back to that time. Our time is known as happy hour.
Yes, it is.
So happy in learning, happy in rejoicing, happy in sharing, happy in empowering, all of the things of being happy, and happy in Christ. And that's the center of it all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, tonight we have two wonderful, fabulous, amazing people
Yes.
that are joining us tonight, and I'm so excited to have them on the show. I've posted on Facebook, I've posted on our Instagram page, and just communicating with them off the air, they have brought so much joy to our lives. I'm just so excited that they're sharing with us tonight. And we want to introduce them to you so that we can share and do some dialogue back and forth.
Yes.
They are a not phenomenal couple, and we're going to read their bio. And my husband will read one, and I will read the other, and then we will bring them on the air so that they can join in with us. They're in the studio ready to do some dialogue with us tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. The gentleman's name, Jermaine Johnson. While many men marry for reasons that are self serving, he knows that the true art of marriage is found in serving your spouse. Powerful. For Jermaine Johnson, author and mentor to many, the verse, husbands love your wives as Christ loves the church, isn't to be taken lightly. It's his mandate, his mantra. It's what he stands on when times get rough and when he teaches to young men and old when he's presented with a problem. As a visionary and true man of God, he seeks to heal broken marriages and families to restore God's original intent of marriage back to the kingdom of God.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yes, it is.
And his rib that's right beside him,
Like this, right there.
Miss Tanita Johnson herself,
Yes.
from losing a set of twins the day after she and her husband were married, to years of unemployment, suicidal thoughts, and blended family woes, she soon learned that the only way out of every fire is to go through it. After going through the fire numerous times and coming out unscorched, she realized that every fire was orchestrated by God to burn some things off to make her better. Not only that, every fire gave her a greater testimony to share with others who may be encountering the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you
Jermaine
and Tanita Johnson. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey.
We are so excited to have you.
Looks like they fit your bios.
Wow. When you first started talking, I was wondering like who else was on the phone. It was wow.
Like that's you. That's you.
You can tell
We
she
are
wrote that
so
one. Wow.
excited. Thank you so much for being on the show with us tonight. Real Talk, Living Life Unbroken. You guys have just been so phenomenal just thus far, just speaking with you. We are so excited on everything that you are endeavoring upon. And we want to share some of that with our listeners tonight. Can you share your story with us? How did you guys meet?
Oh wow! I'm gonna let
Well,
you take
I'll say,
it.
well, first of all, I just say thank you for having us on the show. The other side of real
Sure,
talk. That's what
sure.
we do. But wow, we met actually. It's been a while. We met Halloween night, 2000. Or I'm sorry, 1993. She was actually out trick or treating, and she got a treat. So,
No.
There you go. I like it.
yeah. So funny thing is, when we met, I actually was dating one of her friends first.
Don't say that.
But her friend wasn't the one.
Okay.
God spoke to me and told me, like, you know what, you with the wrong one. So I had to jump ship and go on over to her. And it's been, it's been a fairy
Oh
tale
my
ever
God.
since. But no, we met in 1993. We were married in 2003, exactly 10 years later.
Yeah.
Almost 10 years to
Wow.
the day.
Yeah.
To the day we married. So, and I say 15 years in, still going strong. Some trials and tribulations along the way, bumps and bruises, but hey, there's turbulence on every ride, so it doesn't matter. We're here.
Yeah, we're here.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That is indeed awesome. So you all are doing ministry together for marriages. So how did that start?
Yeah. So it kind of started because we were on the road to divorce, um, and we were attending what a program here is called the Marriage Boot Camp. And Marriage Boot Camp is a 10-week course for couples, no matter if you've been married, 2 weeks or 50 years. There are people from all ages and all walks of life that come through the Marriage Boot Camp. So we completed the Marriage Boot Camp. That was like our last resort to save our marriage, and it actually did. It made our marriage better. And on the other side of that, we were asked to come back and serve in the marriage boot camp moving forward. The course runs twice a year for 10 weeks. So there's a spring session and there's always a fall session as well. So now we serve in the spring and fall with other couples who come through the boot camp. And that was like the catalyst.
I also tell me, I go back to going through one of our most the hardest times, I'll probably say, throughout our marriage thus far was we went through a
marriage Sunday school class.
Yeah, we did marriage Sunday school class, but that towards the end of that we went through a cycle of infidelity.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we went through that, she actually, when she broke the news to me that she went outside the marriage, she actually took me to our church and told me at the church. But it's so funny. I kind of already knew, and I was actually sitting there waiting for her, and we called it. And this is also in the book, Marriage Uncut. I was sitting there in our church where we called Vision Hall, and I got a vision, and God gave me a note, and He told me, He said, "This is going to be your testimony." So through it all, and I heard that from the Lord, told me it would be a testimony, and I rejected it. I was like, no, if it's what I think it is, Lord, it's not gonna be no testimony. It's gonna be a testimony of divorce. That's about it. And I started claiming divorce, but God saw us through it. We got through it, and so now it's pretty much like I say, we have a power in our testimony, so we use our testimony to help others either get through or not have to go through what we've gone through.
Absolutely wonderful.
That's powerful by itself, especially from a man's perspective.
Yeah.
For that to happen and still trusting God enough to bring you through it. Now, your natural, I'm not doing this, it's done. But God says He saw fit for it to remain. And, from, like I said, from a man's perspective, that's powerful. And that is indeed a testimony.
It is a testimony, and it has the anointing on it to save marriages that want to be saved, but they don't know how to go through the actual fire. They don't know how
Absolutely.
to go through the actual struggle to come together and actually forgive.
Mm, yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah,
So,
we're taught how to fight, but we're not taught. We're taught how to fight each other, but not how to fight against the enemy who is against
That's
our marriage.
correct.
Because you become one instead of fighting each other.
Yes,
Fight the enemy.
yes, yes. And that is a key. And you're right. You are absolutely right. We're taught how to fight against one another, but the
That's right.
power is when we come together to fight
Absolutely.
the enemy, because it's power
Yeah.
within us to come
Right.
together. You pull us together and we're coming at you together as one body, nothing's going to stop us.
Yeah.
But if we're pulled apart, we will never be able to make it. I'm just in awe. My mouth is just wide open.
It's a God thing. Trust me.
It is. It is. And the word, one of my favorite scriptures is Ephesians 2:8 and 9. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that
Yes,
not
faith.
of yourself, because it is a gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. It's nothing about me, but it's about God that lives within me. And
Yeah.
it's truly that we are saved by His grace daily.
Yeah.
So
That's so
alone,
powerful. Just for the
it,
simple
it,
fact,
that's
that's one thing we all have to do is just instead of trying to focus on what that other person is, look at within yourself. You know, use your
yes,
faith and worry about what you did. Don't even worry if she's doing wrong. Doesn't matter. What can you do?
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And that is so, like I just asked my husband the other day, I said, what can I do to be a better wife to you?
Wow.
I think
That's
I
good.
caught him off guard. I think I caught him off guard.
My God, did you catch me off guard? I had to really think. I'm like, Lord, is this a setup? What do I
Is this
say?
a
What do
trick?
I say?
All right. Hey, bro, put a list in your pocket. Next time she asks you, you just pull out that list.
But I mean, that's how we build. When we build ourselves in the Lord and we are really studying and laying before Him, and we come back with those type of questions as women because our
Exactly.
first assignment is home.
It's ministry. Our first ministry is home. Yes.
Yes, yes,
And
that's
that's
our
something
first
we
assignment.
do as well. I'm sorry, yeah, that's something we do as well. That's something we ask each other, like, how am I doing? That's something we learn in our, when we, first got married in our marriage Sunday school we went, is just ask each other and just, one, know how to tell that person if they're not doing what you expect, knowing how to tell them with love, and then also
Yeah.
understand, knowing how to receive it, and then do something
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. And that definitely comes with growth as well, because that's one thing Dr. T and I have learned, because coming at each other, we don't hear one another. And so
Yeah.
we have to
Not at all.
understand to talk to each other. So in order to be heard, and she knows for me, the louder you talk, the less I hear. And so we had to
Wow.
learn that. It wasn't like that in the beginning, but the growth now, we can share each other's heart and it be received.
Wow.
I'm thankful. I'm definitely thankful of the level of growth to where we can have serious subjects in conversation, and we definitely have a conversation and not an argument.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And because I know times when some of those conversations we have now, if we would have had them a year or two ago, it would have been rough.
mm-hmm.
Sure.
But now with that growth, understanding to share in love, to be heard in love, and receive in love is very important.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit more about what your endeavors are and what your aspirations are and what you guys are doing now.
So part of what we're doing now is, well, last September, we released the book. Besides working in marriage boot camp every fall and spring, um, we've also done marriage small groups at our home, and those have been very powerful. They've been life changing on so many levels. And then we launched the book called Marriage Uncut: Straight Talk No Chaser, which is actually an anthology, a collection of short stories. We released that September of 2018 with 6 authors. And then part 2 will actually release April 5th of this year with brand new authors. So, Marriage Uncut Part 1 and 2. And the plan is to eventually do a conference, Marriage Uncut.
Awesome.
And then one thing I'll say about what we do. I mean, there's a lot of other marriage ministries out there, and they're great ministries. But the one thing that we noticed that we were lacking was a ministry geared towards the broken
and authenticity.
Yeah. That's we get a lot of topics, but like when like our small group, we get topics like if your mother-in-law is not, your mother-in-law comes in here and she's changing around your kitchen, or
right.
She's trying to take over for Thanksgiving. We hit real topics, or we hit topics of whether it's infidelity, whether it's baby mama drama, money.
Yeah.
I mean, we hit those topics that everyday people hit. I mean, because there's other ministries out there, when you get to that level, but a lot of you don't come out, leave the honeymoon and be on cloud nine. That cloud nine, it comes down, and we got to give people something to get back to that level, and show them that it's not just them, because that's one of the biggest tricks of the enemy, is to make them believe that they're the only ones going through
it by themselves.
and everything that married couples go through. I guarantee you somebody else is going through it at the exact same time, and someone else is already conquered it. So why not use our testimony to help somebody else get through, so they don't have to go through it or stay in that storm as long as we did?
Yeah, and that's so true. Because and why do you think that you talking to real talk, living life on Unbroken?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, love it.
We the real McCoy.
Absolutely.
And
I mean,
we
who's
are
going to
just
tell
like
the people that's going through? Yeah.
Yes. We have the degree, but we also been through it. So we got the plaque to put that up on the wall. So, and that's why it's easy for us to have the conversation, because we had, just like you, had to actually go through the things that we're talking about. So we can have those hard conversations. We can talk about those situations that people cry around the couch about, because we had to do that. We had the blended families and the drama, so we had to endeavor those things, and we prayed about those things, and we cried about those things, and we argued and fought about those things. So now we're able to minister from the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that, because, like I said, you hear a lot of sermons and people telling people how to do it the right way, but usually when you start talking about, because I mean, you be real, in the church you have everybody in all different levels in the church, and usually you only hear about the baby mama drama and the baby daddy drama on Maury. You don't hear about it in the church, but it's happening.
Yeah.
We just a lot of times we just act like it's not going on because that's not of God, so we think so.
Correct. Absolutely. And this platform is another form of reaching the kingdom, because there's so many people that will not come to church.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's one thing too. We've been strategic about when we were even thinking and talking about planning our conference. I mean, even with the small group, we didn't want to have our small group at a church. It was at our home, in the living room, around the fireplace, where people felt comfortable. You feel comfortable in somebody's home where we give you coffee and we give you food. It's comfort.
Yeah.
So you feel like you can come and unwind and take the mask off, versus in church, we feel like we have to be dressed a certain way. We feel like we have to talk and act a certain way, and we have to say, "Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored of the Lord, and all is well." And you're broken inside,
right.
Yeah.
We want you to come in, like say, mask off. We don't want to beat them over the head with the word. Now we gonna sneak it in there, but we ain't gonna beat them over the head with it.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's so good, because they're crying for realness, and that's what we need to give them. And it's not sugarcoating; it's just being real. So you can talk real to me, and I'm going to talk real back to you to let you know. And it's beneficial when people see that you're real. It opens up so many doors. And like you just said, for it to be in a place of comfort, that's you have to go where they are, and even in your own house, that's a place of comfort, relaxing. Okay, this is a nice atmosphere, and with you all story, you all break the ice, and
Right.
so for
Real
people,
quick.
yeah,
You learn. You got to get their attention quick, or else you're gonna lose them.
Yeah,
right,
that's true.
And that's just it too. Just being able to because a lot of times if you meet a minister in the church, you're talking to them, even if you're counseling, you look at them and sometimes what they are, you can't relate. I want somebody to see that I'm the same dude from the hood, Detroit, that came up just like they did.
Right.
We came up in the hood just like they did, but we can make it.
Right.
You can go through all that, go through the baby mamas, go through the cousins that jumping people. I mean, you can get through all of that and still find God and still get through this.
Yes,
yes,
yes. Because the Lord will use anybody if
yes,
you
you
are
will.
willing to be an empty and willing vessel. And so I tell
Absolutely.
people all the time, don't let this color fool you because the salvation is free, but the anointing on my life is not.
It
There's
costs.
a price
Oh, it
for
costs.
that.
Yeah.
This
I mean,
is
I
a
can lay
price.
hands two ways.
Absolutely, absolutely. I prefer in His name, but don't get it twisted.
Right.
That's for sure. So, I mean, we absolutely are just excited about our connection and the way the Lord brought us together. And
Yes.
what are your plans? What are your future plans? What do you have coming up?
Well, right now, I know we're discussing the conference right now. We're trying to put together a conference. We don't have any hard dates. We have some ideas, so we're not going to put it exactly out just because we want to stick to it. But we are doing, like you said, the Straight Talk No Chaser marriage conference, the Uncut Marriage Conference. We're looking at that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just where I know we just released the new Marriage Uncut. But at the same time, we also do I'm currently in school now, and my ultimate goal is to be a counselor because we don't do counseling now, we call it coaching because we coach couples one-on-one just to help them
Right. One-on-one.
But we're not, like you say, we're not counselors, we're coaches. But I am going to school for that. So ultimately that's the goal is to do the conferences and continue to try and meet people where they are. We're trying to do a conference, not like the everyday church conferences. I feel like everyone does conferences, but I want to do something different. I want to do more like a family reunion style conference where we can meet people where they're at, give them something what they want, but at the same time show them how God intended for us to do this.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful. Yeah, and coaching is phenomenal. I love it
Yes.
because people need it. And I appreciate the fact what you said, meet people where they are. And people have to understand that you've been through what they're going through so that they will appreciate you the more. Because
Absolutely.
then will realize they don't have to stay where they are. It's simply a choice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brokenness is a choice. It truly is. If you want to choose to have a broken marriage, you're choosing that. But you can choose to fix it. You can choose to carry on and forgive and keep going.
Well, yeah, healing is work. Healing is a choice. I believe healing is a choice. Some people choose to stay tortured and broken. They don't want to peel back the scab. They don't want to peel back the layers, and they don't want to do the work, so they choose to stay broken. But healing is a choice. But know that with that choice, it's work involved.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
You said a lot right there because that healing process, people sometimes just want to remain comfortable and not go through that process. But understanding going through that process, it's a greater release. Healing is a greater release, and on so many levels, from even in a marriage level, even for individual level, their healing can mean so many different things.
Yeah, it can.
It can.
And a lot of that healing, it has to do a lot to do with the forgiveness. I mean, a lot of times we hold grudges, and whether it's against a past spouse, let's be clear, that's one thing. I've actually been married twice. This is my second marriage. The first one I called it was a practice. It wasn't even real to me, but but I had to forgive that first wife because if you're holding on to that unforgiveness, you eventually, I don't care what no one says, if you still got unforgiveness in you, you will take it out on your spouse. They're the closest ones to you. It's inevitably you will take it out on them. And like I said, you holding that unforgiveness, that's like drinking poison for somebody else. And and waiting on them to die, but you're the one drinking the poison. So you have to forgive and you have to move on.
Yes, sir. You're absolutely right. And by the way, you're not alone. This is our second round too. So
right,
this is
everybody
real.
Get a practice.
Real.
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you? Real talk. Living life in real talk.
But you know what? But that's good though, because a lot of people need to understand that. Okay, yeah, I messed up one time. Okay, I'm real. It happens. Stuff happens. Right. But you can mess up and come back from it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
you can.
Absolutely.
Yes, you can. There is life after divorce.
Absolutely, there is.
Yeah.
And not that we preach it or that we say it, but like, let's be real, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
It does happen. Yes, it does happen, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. It's what you do next.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and forgiveness, we have to learn to forgive ourselves along with the others so that we can heal from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
And
I can honestly say the hardest person for me to forgive is myself. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And once we do that, then we're able to move forward. But we have to forgive us first, then we can forgive others so we can heal from the inside out. And I say all the time when I'm ministering, I can ask my husband to take out the trash, but if he never cleans out the trash can, it's still going to leave an odor.
Wow.
So we have to remember that we are vessels of God, and he has to clean us out from the inside in order for us not to smell. Because that residue will always be there if we don't empty and clean out our vessels.
But Dr. T, I want to jump in right there because I think a lot of people hear the term forgive and forgiveness, and they know the word says to forgive, and they want to forgive, and they don't know how. So I think a lot of people struggle with what does forgiveness look like? How do I know I've forgiven this person? Is it that feeling in my gut that I get? Because a lot of people hear the word forgiveness, and I think for some people it's not that they don't want to forgive, it's they don't know how and what does this process look like for me, and that's not necessarily taught in the church. This is what the tangible process of forgiveness looks like. So, do you need to write a letter? Do you need to make a phone call? Do you need to have a conversation? What does forgiveness look like?
Mm-hmm. And that's good. That's good. And it even depends on who it is. Like, there were some things from my past, from my childhood, that my husband now had to take me to my mother's gravesite and set me there so that I could release some things.
Wow.
And she's passed.
So
that's what it looked like for me individually. But I don't know what it could look like for you. So whatever it is, you got to face it.
Yeah.
You have to take that initiative to face it and to understand that this is what I'm holding on to. So let me be free so that the other person can be free. And whether the other person forgives you or not, that's between them and the God they serve. But between you and the God you serve, you did your part.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you are right. That needs to be taught more because it's not.
Wow.
And I just think it's because there's so many broken people out there too. Yeah.
What you say?
I think that too is a lot of people don't teach this. I feel like a lot of people don't know it. They don't know how themselves.
Yes. We're thankful for the platforms like this, for all of us coming on so that we can share things like this. And actually, our next segment for next month is actually dealing with that. So prayerfully, we'll be able to get in detail with forgiveness and healing.
Yes. Oh, it's key.
That's
It's
that's
key.
something that we're targeting for next month.
Yep.
And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for the two of you coming on tonight.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
This has
And
been
I
awesome.
don't want this to be our last time coming together.
Absolutely.
Oh, it won't. It won't.
I believe we have great dialogue, things that we can talk about, bring together collectively. And when we bring in our segment again for next month, I would really like for you guys to come back on the air and join us again.
We would definitely
Okay,
love that.
awesome.
It's always easy to hear from the female, but I think it's a more honorable privilege to hear from the male
Yes.
that's willing
Wow,
to be
appreciate that.
yes sir, that's willing to be transparent, but also be the head that he's supposed to be, but
Amen.
also leading and letting people know mistakes happen, but this is how it can be fixed. This is how
Right.
it can be done. This is these are our nuggets that we present to you that works for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that because, like my wife, she was like, "You gonna talk with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do this. I'll do this." So I understand more and more. This is ministry, and that's I think what is the blessing because we're not preaching at you, but we're giving you kingdom material.
Principles. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
kingdom principles. And
Kingdom principles, because they work.
that's
Yes,
absolutely.
they do.
And that's all we want to share. And we're sharing it in his love. So it's a great opportunity, and to have you all on as well is definitely an awesome time of sharing. And like my wife said, this shall not be our last. This is just the beginning.
Absolutely.
That's the beginning.
And I just like to say, I commend you both. You know, I thank you both. We thank you both.
Yeah.
For just what you do. You know, just having that strong couple out there. You know, seeing
Real
people
talk.
together. Yeah, together. Because that's what
Yeah.
the world needs. The world's so
Yeah.
confused right now. They need to see us out there. So I commend
Yeah,
you guys.
together.
And as you did me, I commend you too, brother. Just for the simple fact, we need more men standing up and showing
Yes, sir.
this is what God intended for us to do. We have to show other men that. I do that daily at work, and I tell guys, like, look, we are the head. We have to act like it. It's time for us to not let, and there's nothing against the women, but God put us here for a reason. We
That's right.
are here to
Dominate.
dominate
To
this.
dominate.
Mm-hmm.
This is our
That's right.
domain to dominate. So we have to do it. So I commend you guys, and I say I really appreciate you guys just having us on and just just loving on us.
Well,
So
we
we love you guys.
really, indeed appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining our show tonight. And we will have you back again. And we appreciate all of our dialogue on this evening.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much. It went too fast.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. All right. So we thank you so much. We will be in touch. Thank you, listeners, for joining us with the two phenomenal speakers on tonight,
Yes, Jermaine and
Tanita Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much.
And now we are going.
We'll go take a little commercial break, and we will be right back with you shortly.
Nobody messes with the monkey when he's riding on the back of mine. So I want you to think about my profile. When you go pick up me with your friends, let's go. What happened to my This is about the best-selling author, Black America's #1 direct marketing and business growth coach this strategy. And I'm here to really conference with my dear friend, David Johnson. And she is the boss. I mean, she has a room full of individuals who are thirsty, who are hungry, like their book, to publish their book, to bring their ideas alive. And I mean, it's a packed room of you. So you should be here. So I'm saying to you, wherever the Red Ink Conference is, when it comes to your town, please make sure to do that. Look up Rita Johnson online, follow her on Facebook. This is a student conference. I'm endorsing it myself. I'm telling everyone if they want to write their book, if they need an editor to help them with their work, Check out Anita Johnson and Olivia Johnson.
For registration or more information, please visit theredinconference.com. Hello, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome back to Real Talk, Living Life Unbroken. We are so excited to be with you again with one of the 5 love languages. We are going to discuss quality time tonight.
Yeah. But before you even get into that, we just want to once again say thank you to Jermaine and Janita.
Anita Johnson.
We thank you all for being a part of our show, and it was awesome.
It was so awesome. I didn't even want to talk about that because I'm still way up here.
Yeah.
They were phenomenal.
They were.
Oh, I so enjoyed them. They were so good. It's like we were so together on this show. I just enjoyed having them on. I cannot wait to have them back.
Absolutely. Like
Oh, yes, it was just the beginning.
okay, I think we can't move forward.
Okay, honey, you brought them up. I was trying to move forward. All righty. So, we are talking tonight about quality time. Quality time. And so, what does quality time mean to you, Mr. C?
Quality time to me is spending that time where there's no interruptions, no distractions with my queen, that she has my undivided attention. Dr. T, what does that mean to you?
Quality time for me is that, we're talking about the 5 love languages and having that time with yourself. And so you travel so much and you do things, with music and engineering and things of that nature. And one of the things that I always ask you, because you've gone and you see so many people throughout the day, but one of the things that I only ask you for is what?
Quality time.
Yep, that's all I want. I don't want your phone. I don't want your iPad. I don't want your gifts. I don't want the talents that you have. I just want your time, just for us to have conversation. Maybe not even talk about anything, but just spend time with each other.
Yeah. In the book that we use as one of our study guides, 5 love languages, like Gary Chapman, read a little bit out of here. One of his notes, he said, I should have picked up on Betty Jo's primary love language from the beginning. What was she saying on that spring day when I visited her and Bill in Little Rock? Bill is a good provider, but he doesn't spend any time with me. What good are all of our things if we don't ever enjoy them together? What was her desire? Quality time with Bill. She wanted his attention. She wanted him to focus on her, to give her time to do things with her. By quality time, I mean giving someone your undivided attention. I don't mean sitting on a couch watching TV together. When you spend time that way, ABC or NBC has your attention, not your spouse. Just for that right there, and I have to admit, I've been guilty of that. To think that sitting in the living room, we're watching a show together, and we're still not having that intimate time with each other. So I have to be more intentional in realizing that my wife needs quality time, which is no distractions, no interruptions, not even the TV. I guess the only time the TV can really be on is that'd be quality time when SWAT is on.
You said quality time.
Yeah. But yeah, understanding that that's her love language.
Yeah.
And I have to be intentional on giving her love language. Not giving her my love language, but giving her love language so that fulfills her. And my desire and my job is to make sure that I aim and please my wife.
Praise he the Lord.
Glory, hallelujah.
So, like little things for me are important. Uh, Whitney takes me to the park, and we just walk and hold hands, and we're absolutely talking about nothing. I mean, we're having conversation, but we're just, as he say, chopping it up, and we're just walking, holding hands. You know, we might put our feet in the water, we may not, but it's just the fact that we're not spending money because I'm not materialistic like that. All I want from my husband is his time. You know, he doesn't have to buy me flowers, he doesn't have to buy me gifts and all of that. I just would rather spend my time with my husband because, and I tell people all the time, I like him. And so liking him makes me want to spend more time with him. And because I am in love with him, I enjoy his company. Now, if you know him, he's funny. He gives you a good ab workout, you know, because you're laughing, and it and it's I enjoy spending my quality time with him and interacting with him, and just sitting on a park bench with him, people watching or watching things, you know, go by, and we're having our own conversations. That's like an enjoyable day for me. That is good quality time for me because it's he and I together. We're not looking at our cell phones. We're not beating a clock. We're not trying to figure out what's next. Mm-hmm. It's just us.
Mm-hmm. Just to go back a little bit, but don't get it twisted. I do buy her
yes,
flowers and gifts. So I just want to put that out there in the atmosphere.
Thank you for your nugget.
Yeah, I just want to make that clear.
He absolutely does.
But understanding, and I'm just saying, those things is definitely what she likes. And so my assignment is to make sure that she she gets those things. Um, just a side, it's kind of a sidebar, but I'll never forget. One time we were coming from church, and we wasn't in the best space, and the radio was on, and Bishop Maurice Sapp was on there, and he was being interviewed about him and his late wife and their relationship. And he was like, "That's my best friend." But I'm sharing this in regards to how communication is so important. And he was saying that, men and women communicate differently.
Absolutely.
And he gave the example of he was somewhere at a festival, and she had called and asked, excuse me, how his day was. He said, no, got up, grabbed something to eat, went to the show, got something to eat afterwards, and then just came back in, now just chilling. And her response, that's it? And he was like, yeah, that's pretty much it. So he asked how her day was. She started by going in the bathroom, brushing her teeth, and went through the whole routine, then trying to figure out what she's going to wear. And from a man's perspective, we're not saying all that. But it's not to say that we're keeping something from you. It's just that we're not that, what's the word I want?
Detailed.
Detailed, yes. We're not that detailed. And so sometimes we have to learn each other's communication. It's not, again, not trying to keep anything from you. It's just we simplify a whole lot of things.
Yes, you do.
And so communication is definitely important, even in quality time.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk about small things, or sometimes it's okay to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't like quiet because they always think something wrong. That's not the case. Enjoy that time, enjoy the peace. And those moments there is when you can appreciate one another just for those quiet times.
Yeah, so, that's true. Mm-hmm. That's very true. And it's important that you know one another's love language. And that's one of the reasons why we chose this topic first, is because you have to understand who you're married to and what brings you closer together. One of the things when we were not where we are now, I would say to see is you get up on Sunday, you go to your job, and you hug everybody in the church and you grin and smile, but you ain't said nothing to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that made me not like his job. It's not that I didn't like what he did, because he's a musician and he's very gifted at what he does, but it made me feel like I was not important to him.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to understand that I could care less about you playing, because I had to make him understand I didn't fall in love with your gift. I fell in love with him.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, so you don't want me to work at the church? You don't want me doing this? This is my income. This is how I make money. No, that wasn't it. You just forgot your first ministry, which was me. Then you go and you can speak to all of them. But you got to make sure that I'm good first. And you getting up, rushing out to make sure that, the keyboard is set, that the atmosphere was set for worship. But if the keyboard and the atmosphere is not set at home, you're never going to get to that level of worship. So we had to fix that here,
Mm-hmm.
so that real worship could erupt in the church house.
Absolutely.
So, and that was like one of our big things that we had to really lay on our face for, so that the Lord could bring us together, because that is my love language.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was definitely a sign of a style of communication that we had to learn, of not talking at each other, but being able to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And for a while, that's what we were doing, was talking at each other and not hearing our hearts.
Yeah.
And so that was then, but thank God for now.
Thank God, Jesus.
Glory, hallelujah.
So now he plays all over the world, as he's been doing, which is fine, because we listen to each other, and home is good. I'm good. He's good. Keyboards are good.
Thank you, Lord Jesus. But that it really is a good feeling. I mean, and it's not to say that we may not have a disagreement or anything of that nature, but understanding the growth that has taken place with us is really, it's a blessing, and it really feels good. It really feels good to know that I love my wife without a question, and to know that she loves me the same,
Absolutely.
and to know that we both will go for, as far as we can for one another.
Yeah.
And those are indeed great feelings. And so that's why we are in this place of sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that we can help in someone's growth, we're willing to do so. That's why we share our story. Not trying to say we the best, but we just sharing what works for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it works for you, to God be the glory.
Absolutely.
And that's our desire. That's our goal, that something we say each week helps someone in their own life.
And find different things to do together. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do things together. Y'all could do things in the garden. You could go to some museums. You could go to concerts together, work out together. Just have some different activities that you guys could do together. Cook together, whatever, exercise together, whatever you do, make sure that that quality time is together, so that you could bond and have some fun time together. Not so that it's always in ministry, because ministry, that's work. you know, and ministry does not have to be hard, but it is work. You could actually work together if that's what you want to do, but try to do things that you can actually have fun together, where it's not always about one person or the other person, but do things that don't you don't have to come out of pocket to do because you don't always have to spend money to have fun.
Yeah. Here's a question I pose too. Can you show love without spending a dime?
Absolutely, you can.
You know, for some people, that's the thing about that. They really do. But yeah, think about that. Um, I also put out there, I guess, as a challenge for couples. Um, take the initiative to do something that your spouse wants to do that you're really not too keen on doing.
That's good.
I promise you, you make the initiative to do that and not show your not wanting to do, but you doing it out of love for your spouse. That's a huge step in your relationship. What that shows is you're willing to put them first.
Yes, and that's even if it is TV. For instance, I like football, so I'll sit down and watch a football game with my husband. I mean, that's just a given. Now, I'm not going to sit down and watch. I don't care for basketball on TV. Now, you take me to a game, yes, I love it. But to watch it on TV, I don't really care for it. But I'll sit down and I'll watch basketball with my husband on the TV, and he'll look at me like, "What you doing?" And then I'll start engaging in conversation, and he'll be like, "You don't know what to talk about."
Thank
But
God it's March.
but at least I'm trying to engage in the conversation because it's something that he enjoys doing. So I'm putting forth an effort because it's his quality time is important too, his time. But I come in sometimes to engage in in his time and just sit there and watch some games with him so that I can try to understand. You know, this is your world. But let me just get a little nut of it and just see what's going on with this basketball thing, and then try to have an intelligent conversation that doesn't always work.
No fun.
But I try to have a conversation about, you know, what's going on with the basketball. Now, football, I got it. I got it all day long.
Yeah, I have to commend her on that, and she has been doing that, and yeah, and I've really been like, why you in here? But I do appreciate it, so I can't say that I don't, and I can't say that I don't go notice because I do notice it, and like again, little things like that, it goes a long way. It goes a long way, and to me, when you do things like that for the other, it feels good.
And that's a love language. And I really think that's what it's all about. It's a give and take. I mean, some people say marriage is 50-50. I say marriage is what you make it.
Marriage is 100, 100.
Well, that's what you make it, yes.
It's what you make it, but it's 100, 100.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is.
Because if you think it's 50-50, then you're looking at the other 50 to fill a void that you should always be already have filled.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree. Another thing that we do, my husband will call and I will say something random on the phone that he's not even expecting. I'll be like, "Hey, babe, did you know that you are the love of my life, the apple of my eye? Did you know you're the king of this castle and I'm appreciative of you? I'm thankful that the Lord sent you to me and that you are my only man." You know? And so it's things like that that makes him feel appreciated. And so, and it's just randomly. And he'll call me and I'll say, "Did you call me to tell me that I'm your queen? Did you call me to tell me that you love me? Did you call me to tell me that I'm the apple of your eye?" And he goes, "Yep, yep, 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 all of that."
All of that.
So it's like we remind each other who we are to each other.
And then I say after that, what you cooking for dinner? No.
But it's like we remind each other who we are to each other because the world will remind us of our failures or who we are to them. But if the spouse would remind us of who we are to each other, then we won't forget that we are kings and queens, and we won't forget our value and our worth because people tear us down every day. But when we begin to realize and remember that we are conquerors, that we are um, queens and we are kings and we are royal priesthood and the Lord loves us and we are overcomers, then that right there is a great feeling that God has us.
God totally has us. It is indeed a great feeling. Indeed, a great feeling. So, our love language for this evening was quality time. And continuing next week, our love language will be receiving gifts. So, we pray that you continue to log in, and hopefully, we're blessing you all with the information that God has given us and the life that God has given us, and sharing it with you all that we may be a blessing to each and every one of you. Our show next week.
Our show next week, we have two guests that will be sharing with us. So actually, I'm sorry, honey, we're not doing our language next week. We have two guests.
Oh.
We have two guests that are coming on next week that will be sharing, and I'm excited to have them on. We have Trudy Doman that will be sharing with us, and we have G. Dar Campbell that will be coming on as well. They are two phenomenal authors.
Awesome.
Trudy Doman will be on at 7 p.m. and D. Jar Campbell will be on at 7:30.
Awesome.
So they will be sharing with us on next Friday.
All right. So look, keep an eye on our social media for the upcoming flyer and any information that is needed. And feel free to send us your thoughts, your questions, anything that you think may be of help, or how we can assist you.
Absolutely. You can always follow our link. It's bit.ly, bit dot, bit/ly, and then it's living with a capital L, life with a capital L, unbroken. It's on our web page as well. You can go right to our page, put your comments in, put some requests in. We'll be more than happy to do research and we can get back to you. You can always inbox us as well with your comments. If you have some on Facebook, you can follow us, Tracy Wheatley. You can inbox me. We also have Real Talk, Living Life Unbroken radio show on Facebook. You can email us, livingunbroken@gmail.com. We're here to serve the kingdom. That's what we're doing.
Absolutely. So as we're closing out for this evening, we just want to share with you, we are thankful for our past.
We are grateful for our present and expecting overflow in our future.
You all be blessed and have a great evening, and we shall return on next Friday.
Thank you so much for